all so much for being here at Yampa Valley Sustainability Council's summer internship closeout presentations. My name is Dakota Dolan, and I'm the Forest Resilience Projects Manager with YVSC, and I also have the pleasure of running our internship program. I'm so excited and thrilled for these 4 individuals to share with you what they've been working on this term. I've been so inspired by this group. They've just been so engaged and friendly and dedicated, and I'm just very inspired by them. So I'm very excited for them to share what they've been working so hard on. And for anyone who is not familiar with the program, YVSC hosts a 12-week professional experience for young professionals and students to gather the experience that they need from a local nonprofit, kind of as a full-on staff member. So we give them the responsibility of an independently led project. They're paired with a staff mentor, and through this process, they come up with a project with deliverables and outcomes that they're hoping will advance our programming as an organization. So it's a very important role that you play, and I'm so honored that I got to be part of this. And with that, before we begin, we'll have a few words from our Executive Director, Michelle Stewart.
Thank you so much, Cody, for the great introduction to the program and everyone for joining today. Thank you to our stellar interns for your awesome work this quarter, or this term. So they are 12-week terms, and I'd say that for most staff, I'd say board and staff probably, these final presentations are such inspiring, energizing, just probably one of our 3 favorite days of the year. There are 3 of them, but this is probably going to be the best one because it really showcases the power and the impact that our youth leaders bring to this work. And so it really is a strong mooring of the program, is that we're really trying to find ways to connect and engage those rising leaders that really are going to help build the future that we all need and the one that we're working towards today. So my name is Michelle Stewart. Thank you for coming and for being part of the celebration of these final presentations. I've been the Executive Director at Yampa Valley Sustainability Council now for 4 years. And just this past Tuesday, actually, we had the great pleasure of having a conversation with Senator Bennett to join for a conversation that was focused on climate resilience, climate action. So really thinking about mitigation and adaptation and the important work that we have on the table today. And that's really the work that we're also doing as an organization. So we're guided by the mission to serve as a leader, resource, and catalyst for building a sustainable and resilient Yampa Valley region. And really at our core is climate action. So finding ways to enact actions that both reduce greenhouse gas emissions and build resilience to changes that are already here and those that are coming. Namely in Colorado, we really see that as increased temperatures, which is causing drying. And so everything we can do to shift our systems away from fossil fuels and everything we can do to invest in our land and water-based climate solutions like planting trees, increasing our understanding of change, all of it really matters. And so that's why this internship program is such an inspiring and important part of how we operate as an organization, because so much of it is knowledge transfer, but also climate work is really about all of us coming together and bringing our capabilities and our inspiration and everything that we're really wanting to build and doing that work together. So we're super excited, no pressure. This is probably the friendliest audience you'll ever have. So I really invite all participants, please think of good questions. We'll have time after the presentations to ask questions. You'll have lots of them. And then, of course, it's just a really wonderful reflection of the great work you've done over this 12-week term. So we're delighted, and it's my great pleasure to welcome our first speaker, and thank you all for coming.
Hey guys, hey everyone. So my name is Emmy Watson. I was the youth engagement intern this summer. Specifically, I hosted a volleyball event and with educational climate change components, addressing youth engagement in Steamboat. So a little bit about me before we start. I was born and raised in Steamboat, and I'm going into my junior year at Steamboat Springs High School. I love the outdoors and learning about new things on this huge yet tiny earth. I value my friends and family. I play soccer, ski, raft, and spend as much time outside as possible. There's nothing I am more passionate about than the environment and keeping it safe. In my future, I hope to pursue a career in environmental science, specifically on the marine side of that environment. I hope to attend college in California, my dream school being UC Santa Cruz, go Slugs. I would also like to give a shout out to my fellow interns over there for explaining me as a parrot, So at our intern meetings, we always start with an icebreaker question, and one of the meetings was, what would your spirit animal be? I originally said a shark, but Darby jumped right in and said I was a parrot. Not sure what that means, but I'm hoping good things. So my mentors this summer were Cody Dolan, the Forest Resilient Projects Manager and the Intern Manager, Michelle Stewart, the Executive Director at YVSC, and last but certainly not least, Abby Vandergraaf, my primary mentor, the Communications Manager and Strategist. I cannot thank them enough for everything they did for me this term. I'm incredibly grateful to have received donations from Ice House, Urbane, Ruby Jane Cruisers, and John Kosick, my stepdad, for the Climate Serve Showdown. I cannot thank them enough for the generous donations, along with the City of Steamboat Springs, Interact Club, and Steamboat Springs High School as a whole for allowing connections to form. Starting this internship, I knew I wanted to reach youth and find a way to engage youth. YVSC needs to engage youth because it can open more doors for growth within our community. The youth of Steamboat is our future generation and can make an impact on our community and how we fight climate change. Teens at SSHS are very passionate about many things, including social media. Social media has taken over the world and is one of the main ways people communicate nowadays. With the help of teens, YVSC can reach a larger audience and impact even more individuals. There is nothing more than teens love than competing and winning. Volleyball can allow teens to want to join the change. A summer sport that everyone loves and anyone can play, whether with a volleyball skill or not. This led me to my project idea, which was organizing a volleyball tournament. The way I explained it to Abby and myself is we're basically gaslighting teens into learning about climate change. With the volleyball tournament, along with the other environmental activities, it allowed for teens to stay engaged with something comfortable while also learning about something new. Having teen-focused event is also super important to me because I see and hear their drive and passions every day. I want to help with finding a way to help their passions and allow for them to learn more. Through brainstorming and planning, I hosted a volleyball event with various other environmental activities with an overall goal to teach and engage youth. All in all, this event allowed for youth to connect with YVSC in climate change and YVSC to teach youth and spark new interests. As much as teens love to win, they also love prizes. I went around and asked if any local companies that teens are often found at would like to donate a prize for the winners, as well as putting posters up. These prizes allowed for the tournament to be even more competitive. You might be asking yourself, well, how can volleyball help learn about climate change? Well, that's why I brainstormed some fun mini games to be played on top of volleyball. The environmental Jenga was played like any regular Jenga. However, when you pull a block, you would reveal a component of the environment and you would have to guess or learn about how climate change can affect that component. The climate change conversation cards were a simple conversation, pulling a card to reveal a question or interest that a participant would then have to think and voice their opinion on. And finally, the paint by number community mural created by Julia Ben Asher. It allowed teens to paint a beautiful landscape while also taking in our environment and the importance of keeping it safe. The Climate Serve Showdown took place on July 17th from 10:15 a.m. to 12:15 p.m. This event increased youth participation and engagement, making it easier for Steamboat teens to learn about climate change and what they can do to help. Overall, there were 6 teams with a total of 30 attendees. All teams had to win as many volleyball games as they could, as well as gaining participation points in the other mini games. The participation points made sure that the teens were also engaged in the mini games and learning, which is basically the gaslighting part. So for the environmental Jenga, each team would win 3 points for playing that every time. They could play it as many times as they want, along with the climate change conversation cards. However, with the community mural, we allowed them to get 6 points and they could paint as much as they wanted. Each volleyball game would win 15 points, but once you made it to the losing bracket, you'd only win 7 points. This event allowed teens to have fun while also learning about the climate and how it is constantly changing. The event fee was to bring 5 batteries or power cords to donate to the depot. The team that won received $275 in gift cards from the donors. At the Climate Serve Showdown, many attendees explained their experience to be super fun and engaging. Many enjoyed the paint by number community mural along with Jenga with Cody. Some more pictures of the event. So here is the community mural. There was 2 murals that was just like a landscape, and here's the Jenga and then a sign in. So that was pretty fun. And then along with the Climate Serve Showdown, I created a YVSC TikTok account. I know, super Gen Z young of me. The account has videos of the interns this summer, along with a video about the Climate Serve Showdown. Our most recent TikTok got 1,613 views. In the future, I hope that the TikTok account will continue to grow and the future interns can take charge of it. After the Climate Surf Showdown, I wrote thank you cards to the donors and also created a photo album to add the various photos taken at the event. During the event, I had all the participants that were interested sign up for our Next Generation newsletter. I added those subscribers to the list to increase newsletter visibility. Overall, I think there's still room for growth and so much more to be accomplished. However, I believe that the Climate Surf Showdown, along with the TikTok account, allowed for teens to become more engaged with YVSC and hopefully allow for change with our overall community. This event allowed for teens to know about YVSC and become interwoven with YVSC. Not to mention, YVSC now has more access to teens who are driven and interested in what we do here. Along with YVSC having access, SSHS, which is the Steamboat Springs High School, can also have access to organizations like YVSC to teach teens. Clubs like Interact Club, Eco Club, Helping Hands Collective Club, and so many others can learn from YVSC staff. This will continue to grow connection between YVSC and youth. On top of that, future interns can host similar events to the Climate Surf Showdown, specifically targeted towards teens or young adults. Some other YVSC projects that I did, along with the Climate Surf Showdown, I helped set up and volunteered for the Insight Art for Climate Change fundraiser. All these photos are from that. The two TikToks on the TikTok account were from the Insight, and then the last one was the Climate Surf Showdown. So it was a really great event. I also attended a steering committee meeting before Insight, along with staff meetings and community meetings. Insight taught me exactly what goes in the event planning, and anything can go wrong, especially the weather, which it did go wrong at the event, but we made everything work. Insight is YVSC's biggest fundraiser of the year. Many different artists create art pieces to auction off. These art pieces represent places in our local environment and how it is changing, or even a place that is insightful to them. These other projects allowed me to see ways of running and setting up an event or even a meeting. This allowed me to have a clear understanding of what I needed to do to make my event run smoothly. So now personal takeaways. This experience was incredibly impactful in my life, especially at my age, and I learned so much, even down how to write an email, a professional email, but still an email. I didn't really know. Not only did this internship teach me, but it also allowed me to make connections with others and help connections form with different groups of people and organizations. I hope to stay in touch with YVSC and the staff and continue to help my community and support the action. Finally, I would like to thank Abby for being an amazing mentor. Abby truly made me feel lots more comfortable with what I was doing and with all the key aspects of making the event run smoothly. I would like to thank Cody for leading me and all the other interns in our projects and allowing us to make mistakes while also fixing them in an orderly fashion. Although Kate cannot make it today, she helped me along the way and showed me all the aspects of setting up an event. And when things go wrong, it's okay, but just to keep going. I cannot be more grateful for Michelle for giving me this wonderful opportunity and being able to learn so much from her, and also being a fellow slug. I'm not there yet, but I'm I would also like to thank Robin Shepard and Helica Salinas, who were people that talked at our intern meetings. They taught us so much about being able to make connections and also being able to see through their life and accomplishments. I would like to thank and give a shout out to two of my close friends, Mia Dupre and Emma Wilson, who volunteered for the Climate Surf Showdown and engaged youth along with engaging themselves. And lastly, I want to give a huge shout out and thank you to Ruby, Chase, and Darby for being great interns and overall people to look up during my time here. It was amazing seeing you all make progress in your projects, playing darts in the upstairs office, and even going to the off the beaten path to get some iced chais. So that wraps up my entire project. It was a really impactful time in my life, and I really value what I did here and how I can help in the future, and I really just want to keep going and just, yeah. So is there any questions?
Who came up with the questions and the cards that you guys did?
Abby actually came up with them.
Okay.
I actually did. I actually found them online.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. A little group made them and shared them out.
Okay. What about Jenga? Is that
The Jenga, actually Dixie Barnes gave me the idea in Spanish class, and
okay?
I painted and added all the environmental components to the blocks, so when you pulled them.
And then last question, is the mural going somewhere? Where is it?
Yes, I'm not
I think
sure.
ideally the North Rat Charter School.
Oh, perfect.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
Awesome.
Cool. Yes, yes.
So now that you have all that great exposure from TikTok and so on, are you gonna do this again another year? Do you think it's gonna be like an annual event or something that's going to be repeated?
I mean, yeah, I would love to do this internship again. And also, Cody and Abby had the idea of having there being like an intern every term, that is the community engagement intern, and they host a similar event, the climate change, or the climate serve showdown. But I really want to just keep in touch because I still like think there could be more done, and especially with going into my school season. There's lots of clubs like Interact Club, at SSHS, and I think sometimes we don't have things to do during the club meetings, and I think it would be really helpful for like a staff member or even like an activity to be made for the youth to learn even more at the school, so. Darby?
Who was the winner of the losing bracket?
The winner of the losing bracket was actually the YVSC staff.
Winners.
The losing bracket, so. I don't know, I still play, I actually lost against them because I was playing with the other team, so that was embarrassing. Abby, did you have a question?
Yeah, I was wondering, did you end up sending like a feedback form to your peers who participated?
I did not get to that, but I did interview them with TikToks, and most of them were just saying how it was like engaging and they really loved the community mural, probably because it was the most points you could get with the other mini games. Because it's fun and kind of therapeutic, so, yeah.
Yeah, I was just curious what their feedback was. Yeah.
Abby?
Well, Emmy, amazing job. It was so fun working with you. Emmy was my first intern that I ever got to manage. And now you set the bar really high for everyone else, so they're gonna have to thank you for that. But so it's so great working with you. I just wanted to ask you, is there anything about working at a nonprofit or running an event that surprised you that you didn't expect?
I think I was really surprised by all the donors and getting that much like donations. I don't know, I didn't really think that I was gonna get any just because it was not gonna be like a huge event like Insight, and I'm also just a kid. So I was like, I don't know if this is gonna work, but I was quite surprised by that. And I think just the community of the actual like staff at the office, and like, I don't know who said it in their present, I think Ruby, I don't know, they said, or Darby, I think it might have been, I don't know, someone said, where it's like you can just open the door and like, there's always constantly highs from dogs or people or like anything. And I think just the community of the nonprofit was just really great, and it made me feel a lot comfortable with what I was doing, especially like being my age. I kind of came into this internship a little scared, but at the end I felt a lot better just because of like the connectivity between all of us, I guess. So, yeah. Yes, Michelle.
Great job. A question, so we recognize, the importance of engaging and empowering youth leaders just to be part of the solutions. And I'd love to hear your insights and reflections on what do you see as the value add among your peers of knowing about, YVSC's work or just the need and the role for youth leadership in climate. So just to hear your perspective on that, or what you heard some of your peers say.
Yeah, I mean, I definitely, all of my friends, they're very like similar to me. They definitely have like a passion to help and kind of like want to keep the environment safe. And so just kind of hearing them have a passion but not really knowing what to do with that. And I think it's hard for like high schoolers or kids, I guess you would say, to like make an action because we still are so young and there's not much we feel like we can do. So I feel like the volleyball tournament and like learning about YVSC really opened the doors, and like seeing like a fellow like student being in this internship can spark like interest to be like, oh my gosh, I can do something in this town. Maybe I'll do this internship. And I think it's just really important to like spread knowledge that just because you're young doesn't mean you can't do anything yet. So I think that was like really important to me. Just trying to like make connections between everyone and YVSC and youth especially, so.